GST, the most revolutionary tax structure, indirect tax structure, announced, made effective from 1st July 2017. Now, the GST needs the rationalization of tax rates. After completion of 5.5 years, there is a need of rationalization of tax rates. GST, this was introduced from 1st July 2017, subsuming many states' sales tax, VAT tax and indirect taxes levied by the central government and state governments. So the GST, after implementation of GST for more than 5.5 years, the GST needs rationalization of tax rates. Goods and services tax, that is GST, collection kept its momentum in December, nudging to 1.5 lakh crore, establishing a strong support level despite an expected reduction in growth. The GST collections were 1.5 lakh crore during the month of December 2022. Collections have flattened above 1.4 lakh crore a month over quarters that saw growth in GDP sliding. Even the reduction, there is effect in GDP. The GST collections has been showing improvement, and which was more than 1.5 lakh crore per month over last 2 to 3 quarters. The trend is expected to endure with GDP growth projection for the January to March quarter. This trend of more GST collections means expecting around more than 1.4 lakh crore per month is expected to be increased because of projected GDP growth for the last quarter of 23, that is January to March 23. GST collection has a linear bearing with nominal GDP, and some of the performance is linked to the persistence of inflation, particularly imported inflation that's showing up in the GST subgroups. Even if there is an inflation, the demand and supply is, the trading activity is improving, the demand and supply is also met. There are a lot of commercial transactions, and consumers also able to purchasing capacity also improved because of lot of improvement in commercial activity, which is the result due to which the GST collections are improving from more than 1.4 lakh crore per month. The GST is also tracking domestic consumption climbing out on the throw of pandemic restrictions. The recovery is broadly based across states as the revival in service follows that in manufacturing. Because of improvement in service sector, the GST collections are improving in service sector, as well as consumption, means the consumption by individuals or Indians is improving. Because of that reason, because of improvement in consumption and spending by Indians, the GST collections are improving, and the collections are consolidating month by month. Efficiency gains in GST collection arrive with a lag after rollout, and India may have hit the spot this year. Further, gains are dependent on the pace of universalizing the tax, convergence to a single rate, and formalization of the economy. Because of GST introduced in the year 2017 in India, many of the sectors has been showing good performance, and the majority of the transactions are entered through formalized economy, and further the gains are dependent on the pace of universalizing the tax. Means the GST collection, earlier GST collection was only for Now the GST being collected from many sectors. Earlier it was not possible to collect taxes from the some sections. The advantage of GST introduction is the tax paid anywhere in India will be given credit while paying the while collecting the tax from the purchaser at the consumer point. Means if a purchaser has if a trader has paid the tax while purchasing from the manufacturer, the tax so paid will be given credit to the purchaser in his state, and that the credit is the advantage credit being given at the time of purchase by the trader, and while selling to the purchaser, while selling to the consumer, the cascading effect of multiple taxation at multiple levels has reduced, and the tax evasion is also reduced because of the input tax credit given and tax paid anywhere at the time earlier. And one more thing is the economy is formalizing into many commercial transactions earlier used to carried on through cash, now has been shifted to banking channels are being tracked, and correct tax has been being collected in the correct GST has been collected from the liable taxpayers, and that because of this the the GST has been universalized and economy has been formalizing, is being in the process of formalizing. This could be theoretical construct by rationalizing rates, trimming exemptions, and expanding coverage. Now there is a need of rationalizing the tax rates and reducing the exemptions or deductions, reducing the exemptions from turnovers and expanding the coverage, means widening the tax base is the most important to improve the efficiency of GST collections. Of course, now the GST collections are more than around 1.5 lakh crore per month, which is welcome. But is there any scope for improving the GST collections further by widening the tax coverage, GST coverage, means expanding the GST coverage, and also reducing the exemptions and rationalizing the tax rates. The opportunity has to be verified. The current effective GST rate trails the original revenue neutral rate, and tax collection has a further upside if political resistance is overcome. The government has reduced the GST high rate, they reduced the commodities covered under high rate of tax, and that is also showing the encouragement for the traders to improve its payment. And one more thing is compulsion to pay the GST is also increasing because of transparency in transactions entered into by the manufacturer, trader, and the consumer. GST has shown itself as a solution to several layers of policy uniformity. Because of single rate of tax for a commodity anywhere in India, this is shown a uniformity of the single rate of tax for a product all over India, thus reduced the confusion and also confusion and sources to evade or postpone the tax payments. A correctly designed GST can address chronic gaps in tax devolution to local governments, improving governance, delivery in cities, the principal centers of consumption. A correctly designed GST administration addressing the chronic gaps in tax devolution, and also the local governments financial resources are also improving because of improvement in GST collections, and also the consumption at the cities is also being covered with widening of tax base, less clutter in tax rates, and exemptions ease the burden on litigation. Finally, it sends out a very strong signal on policy continuity. Because of less confusion in rates of taxes and less number of exemptions given, and ease of burden on litigation, that is reduces the burden of litigation, and that clarity in rates of taxes and exemptions and implementation